Where every millennial in 2026 is just totally ready to pull a complete 180, because we basically grew up in an era where we watched innovation make life genuinely better every single year. Like, think when cell phones first came out, or iPods, digital cameras, smartphones, when there was literally an app for everything. Like, we were so incredibly pumped, and then it just turned. Everything became a subscription. Social media became an algorithm.
We don't take care of this now. Soon, little Gamble here won't be able to get a nickel for his grandma. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
Why aren't people having kids? Why aren't people having kids? Because life fucking sucks. That's why people aren't having kids.
Now, capitalism was probably the best system we had in the entire world in terms of building capital and having a free economy. But right now, we feel like we're definitely hitting the late stages of capitalism, where it feels like it's gotten so crazy now that it makes modern life honestly kind of feel a bit like a scam. But it might not just be modern life, it might just be modernity in general. How have we gotten to this stage? Leave your thoughts about this video, as well as we dive into clips that I've compiled on the subject. With that being said, let's dive into it.
We don't take care of this now. Soon, little Gamble here won't be able to get a nickel for his grandma. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Capitalism used to be the great hero of this country. And now it appears that capitalism has been replaced with a different ism. Much less capital, much more fash. And I can't stand it. It's bad enough. It's bad enough that every single thing you do is taxed. Existing is taxed. Buying, spending, owning. Lottery, it's ridiculous. The government says you need money but doesn't want you to have it. And then every single grocery store, that is just a corporate carrot on a stick designed to make you spend more, as if the shit that we needed wasn't expensive enough, and the price of gas to get there and back wasn't expensive enough. And you know what? If it was all, if that was all, it would be enough. But you know what? It's not. It's the aliens. It's the aliens, and it's the fucking pedo island, and it's the tunnels under the cities, and the Diddy parties, and the scientists that are going missing, and nobody's doing enough, and it's the why has nobody been indicted? Why has nobody been indicted? You ask me why it's so serious. I'll tell you why it's so serious. Because of this shit show we're all living in.
This shit show we're all living in, and it does feel like a shit show at the very least. I think that's modest compared to what I can think of in my head, but I won't say it for the sake of keeping this video PG-13.
Why aren't people having kids? Why aren't people having kids? Because life fucking sucks. That's why people aren't having kids. And taxing people in order to make people have kids is not going to make people have kids. Majority of people spend 40 hours a week out of the house, away from the people that they choose to spend their lives with. There is no sense of community. Why would someone want to bring a child into that world knowing that that is going to be their reality? Unless they work 40 hours a week, and even then sometimes this isn't possible, but unless you do that, you can't rent a house or an apartment, you can't buy a house, you can't have a car, you can't eat, you can't pay your bills, and we're all subscribed immediately when we're born to do that and to live that life. Why would I want to bring a child into this world, into a world that I didn't choose and that I actively hate, when I know that that is just going to be their existence? That would be the most selfish act that I could possibly do when I actively don't enjoy life. Like, sure, some moments are good, like some moments are enjoyable, like going on holiday is great, like the occasional moment is enjoyable, but the vast majority of life is a fucking drain. I didn't choose to be born, but my mum chose to have me, so I have to work in order to live and pay bills and eat food. In order for people to start having children again, we need to reform the whole system. We need to change the whole system, because there is no community. I know if I had a child right now, I'd need to go back to work full time once the maternity pay was over. There's no community. I don't live with my family. I don't live in the same town as my family. There's no commune in order to help me out, and I'd need to go back back and spend 40 hours a week with people that I don't fucking choose to spend time with. Unless I can guarantee that my child wouldn't have to go to work if they didn't want to and could live life the way that they wanted to, I wouldn't have children. So unless I'm a multi-millionaire and I can pass on multiple millions, I'm not going to have children.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to incentivize people now to have children. People in general are having less kids, but when you have a system where you're taxed so much and you get barely anything back, and you need that money to raise kids. Like, we have a 1-year-old and he's not even at the age yet where we're really like spending a lot of money on birthdays or Christmases, and it's quite a lot of money. There is other countries in Scandinavia now, believe, I'm not sure of the country. I know it's some Scandinavian country, it could be all of them, but I know there's at least 1 or 2 countries that have some policy where you don't have to pay any income tax if you have children. So basically, until that kid turns 18 years old and they're a fully functioning adult, you don't have to pay any income taxes. That is the real way to incentivize people to have kids in your country.
$200,000 a ticket for courtside seats in Game 4? Or the World Cup with one of the most expensive seats costing $11.5 million? What are we doing?
I mean, yeah, life has basically now become like a playground for the extremely wealthy, and people are watching the American dream, the Canadian dream, just slipping away in real time.
Where every millennial in 2026 is just totally ready to pull a complete 180, because we basically grew up in an era where we watched innovation make life genuinely better every single year. Like, think when cell phones first came out, or iPods, digital cameras, smartphones, when there was literally an app for everything. Like, we were so incredibly pumped, and then it just turned. Everything became a subscription. Social media became an algorithm. Coming directly to your phone, which is now, by the way, a 7-inch supercomputer that was designed to command our attention 24/7. Like, where I'm getting at, we were sold on the idea that technology was going to bring convenience and make things more affordable, and it just snowballed into whatever era we are currently living in today. And now almost every millennial I know would basically gladly trade all of it for a job as a park ranger who only needs a flip phone, who lives out west in like a tiny town with this cute little diner on the corner where the waitress knows their order.
Yeah, and honestly, the funniest thing about what he said is, that technology was going to make things more abundant and we were going to live more prosperous lives because of that, because it would free up a lot of time and everything else for us. But it feels like life is now more expensive now with technology than it should be. If you really think about it, technology is supposed to be deflationary, but yet we're living the most expensive lives in the modern capital age, in the modern age.
If you heard the news, Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, billionaire, and the founder of Palantir, the company that is connecting with all of these data centers to mine your information and track everything everyone does, he just decided to purchase a house, a $12 million house in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He has the right ear of the President of the United States. He is in with J.D. Vance. I'm not saying there's anything bad about that. I'm just saying that they know what's going on. He knows what's going on. He decided to move his family temporarily to Buenos Aires. That's pretty freaking far away from the United States. So for someone who is managing, running, owning billions of dollars of companies in the United States to decide to move he and his family to South America, pay attention. The door is still open. This is your chance to do what the billionaires are doing, because they already know what's going on. They know that the U.S. is not going to be safe in the next few years, and they're getting out now. People are getting their secondary visas. People are getting their secondary residencies in Europe, but I'm focusing on South America, and one country in particular, which I think has everything you need for a peaceful, tranquil, safe and free life after you have your residency there. So I highly recommend following this channel, watching more of these videos, find out what paperwork you need, get information on how to find the country that's going to be the perfect fit for you, and do what the billionaires are doing in this case.
That is a pretty bad warning sign when one of your big billionaires, one of your capital leaders in the country who is really heavily invested in AI sees the writing on the wall and is moving abroad. That is scary.
Shift that is occurring where people are beginning to lose interest in everything, and it's causing them to retreat from society. People are radically changing the way that they are living their lives. I know that I have felt this, and you can let me know down in the comments if you have felt it. When you look around our society, you see that everything is really operating on this fear-based narrative. We are living in a world right now where we're kind of just like waiting on the next big event to happen. And we have an extreme amount of financial pressure and just economic stress that is overshadowing almost everything that we do. The amount of work that is having to go into life just to maintain it and to survive. And people are getting overwhelmed and exhausted and are kind of completely checking out. I mean, when you look at the statistics, more people than ever are living paycheck to paycheck. Nobody has any money in savings. People feel hopeless that they'll never be able to own a home. They're having to move into their vehicles. Our food system is trash. Our education system is trash. And just the awareness that the people who have been in charge and kind of set up and are controlling the system that we are currently operating in is it's not going so well. And I think more people are waking up to the fact that when we are living in this overwhelming state of fear, we are easier to be controlled and manipulated. When we're comparing ourselves to other people, it's easier to sell us stuff. We are never happy, and we're constantly on this hamster wheel of working really hard just to like meet our most basic needs. The world is currently operating on a level of corruption that we have really never been aware of before, or a lot of us have not been aware of just how corrupt a lot of systems are operating, and not just within the US, but globally as well. We are constantly on, our phones and screens and social media. We're becoming more and more disconnected from each other, and it's making social interactions more challenging for us and for other people. Like, we're losing the ability to have a community and form connections with other people. We have been disconnected from nature and outdoors, which is a place where a lot of people can just find peace and calm. From this place of fear, it is causing people to have this overwhelming sense of anxiety and depression, and we have, major mental health concerns that are going on with the majority of people, and that is a red flag that something is amiss. We can only handle so much stress before we completely shut down, which I think is what is happening to a lot of people. We are becoming overwhelmed, and from that place of overwhelm, you have fight, flight, or freeze. And we have been in fight and flight for a long time, and freeze is what a lot of people are going to, where they are just completely checking out. And this is the shift that is leading us into a deep awareness of what is going on. And that awareness is uncomfortable, to be there in that place where you are seeing past the veil, that has been over us for so long. It is the first step for us to change our course and change the way that we're living our lives, and not accepting what has been the narrative, the life that we have been told that we needed to live our entire lives. Go to school, go to college, get a good job, retire when you're 65, buy a house, stay there for most of your life. That plan isn't working anymore, and that is not the story that a lot of people are living out. With this awareness, we can really course correct and begin to break some of the habits that we have. It takes us out of that autopilot mode.
There's so much stress in modern life, and that really is one of the reasons why I think people are losing so much interest in participating in just the economy and just the modern world. And I understand now why so many people have these dreams. If we didn't have a child, I would honestly consider moving so far away and just kind of being a hermit. But you can't really avoid responsibilities once you have a child. So Obviously, we chose a different life, but I can completely understand and empathize with a lot of people's decisions to do that. Anyways, guys, leave your thoughts about this video down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.